Hey everyone, my name is Johnny and I support horror. Like most of my reviews, this one is spoiler free. I only show some clips from the trailer, talk about a few plot points that isn't too revealing, so I think you're pretty safe here. Who isn't safe is Nicolas Cage. Do you like the transition I just did there? In a recent horror action comedy movie I just watched called Willy's Wonderland. If you watched the trailer like I did before seeing the movie, you know what you're getting yourself into. And I was all in after watching that trailer. So let's talk about it, horror fam. Willy's Wonderland is an action comedy horror movie written by G.O. Parsons and directed by Kevin Lewis. A nomad, a drifter, whatever you want to call this dude played by Nicolas Cage, gets stranded in a remote town called Hayesville, Nevada, after his car breaks down when his wheels go over a spike strip in the road. He takes his car to a body shop, but they only take cash and it's going to cost around $1,000 to fix. Fast forward to our drifter being in front of a closed and dilapidated Willy's Wonderland with the owner, Tex McAdoo. Now Tex strikes a deal with our drifter. He says if he can be the night janitor for that night and clean up everything inside, his car will be fixed and ready to go the next morning. What seems to be more than a fair trade ends up being the janitor, we'll call him for now, fighting for his life against furry, psychotic animatronic robots all night long. Now before we get into this review, you have to understand what kind of movie you're about to see. I think the trailer and the log line pretty much sums it up, but basically you have Nicolas Cage kicking the shit out of animatronic robots in a Chuck E. Cheese style restaurant for about an hour and 25 minutes. This film isn't for everyone. I still think you should give it a try, but let's say I understand if certain people don't like Willy's Wonderland. Me? Oh yeah. I had a blast, and here's why. For one, the acting of Nicolas Cage. This happens to be Cage's 8th horror movie, the first being Vampire's Kiss in 1988. I think most of us can agree. We know Nicolas Cage from his spastic acting style and he's got a very distinct voice. It's like one moment he can be calm and very soft-spoken, and then go from 0 to 100 real quick, yelling and moving his body in a way that almost comes off as slapstick. My personal favorite Cage freakout scenes come from Vampire's Kiss, The Rock, The Wicker Man, Honeymoon in Vegas, and pretty much the entire movie of Deadfall from 1993. What's unique about Cage's acting style in this movie is you still get some of that crazy spastic rage, but he never utters one word throughout the entire movie. He's the strong silent type that only carries one expression on his face, and it's just like, yeah, I exist. What's next? It's like he's playing a caricature of some hard ass from a bad action movie that you'd find in the discount bins at Walmart, you know. It's great. And I love when a character in a movie has distinct quirks. One small example, like in Hereditary, Charlie, she had the tongue click thing. Well, in Willy's Wonderland, the janitor, aka, Nicolas Cage, is a bit obsessive compulsive. He has an alarm set on his watch that goes off every, hour or so. And when that alarm goes off, he has to chug an energy drink. Yes, he's basically fueling himself off of Punch. That's what it's called, Punch energy drinks. The janitor also seems to be obsessed with being clean. He's washing his hands a lot, and he has to change his shirt after every single fight he gets into, and good on him because it does get a bit messy. I love these quirks because it really adds something to the character and helps him not be so one-dimensional. Like I said, he didn't speak in the entire movie, so they had to make his character interesting in other ways, and they did a great job at it. Nicolas Cage did a good job. And one more thing about his acting, I found it hilarious just how unfazed he was that these robots were trying to kill him, especially when he faced his first one. He was so nonchalant about the whole thing, after he beat the shit out of a robot, he'd just go back to cleaning like, yeah, that wasn't weird at all. Speaking of fighting, yeah, the action scenes were my favorite. I loved how they shot the sequences, with fast edits and tight shots of the violence and a shaky camera. All of those elements just enhanced the chaos of the moment. And the cherry on top was the gore. Instead of blood and guts, it was oil splattering everywhere and wires and gears flying. It was a creative way to give the audience what they want to see, gore. The setting of this movie was great too. It's like if Showbiz, do you remember Showbiz? Showbiz Pizza, with Bill Billy Bob and his band. It emerged into a Chuck E. Cheese later on. But yeah, the setting of this was like a rundown showbiz meets a demented and satanic funhouse. That's what we're dealing with in Willy's Wonderland. Perfect setting for, this type of film. As for the story, it was pretty straightforward. The cold open was great because they teased just enough of what was to come without giving too much away. The audience got to see that being discovered through the janitor's eyes, later on throughout the movie. And they didn't leave us hanging with why the place was shut down, what the deal is with the animatronics and why they're evil. So I feel like they covered all the bases there. Just a few things I think they could have worked on a little bit more. One, the punch energy drink and how it fueled our janitor. I was thinking and anticipating that something big, something cool was going to happen to him as he's chugging these, multiple energy drinks throughout the night, 1 per hour pretty much. I was thinking he was going to get more crazy the more energy drinks that he drank throughout the night, but that just wasn't the case. They could have used it against him too. Maybe he runs out of punch energy drinks and his energy just goes to zero, making him an easy target for these animatronics. And two, I thought it was a little bit too easy for the janitor to kick the crap out of these robots. Don't get me wrong, loved the gory ass kickings. I just feel like there could have been a little bit more conflict there. But overall, I had a lot of fun with Willy's Wonderland. I think most of it had to do with the casting choice of Nicolas Cage. I'm not sure how many others I would have liked in this role. I was trying to think of who, Michael Shannon, that'd be one. I think he'd be great in this movie too. But if you're in the mood for a dark, silly action horror comedy flick with the acting styling of Nicolas Cage, grunting and smashing his way through a rundown Chuck E. Cheese, then please check out Willy's Wonderland. And I will leave you with that, horror fam. Thank you once again for coming by, checking out this video, and checking all my videos on my channel. If you like this, I hope you give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed this already, please hit that subscribe button. And let's be friends to the end, people. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram @TheHorrorHack. Once again, my name is Johnny. Keep supporting horror, and this has been one hack of a show.